Yeah, I better put out a notification for it. It's time to do the Longplay vote for the next Longplay. And it comes down to, oh, bothersomely, the music is going to stop when we have this. What can be done about that? Well, we can just deal with that whilst I set everything up for it. So I will say, next Longplay vote starts now. Although it's not actually starting now, it's starting as soon as I put the vote up. So, just in case you've never seen this before, we have long plays around here. We've had them ever since I went full-time on the streaming, and they're put up to vote. Well, sometimes I just go, we're doing this, but in this case it's going down to a vote. This is going to be between Xenonauts and OpenTTD, but hold on, there's a little twist to it. Well, I think there is. I need to type out the poll first. It's always very flow breaking. I wish I could have these prepped ahead of time. So Xenonauts ballistics only and Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe. I have no space for that, so I'm just going to call it Open Transport Tycoon. Nothing to do with me not being able to spell the word deluxe. And there we go. So I'll explain the two different runs because I'm excited to do both of them, so I'm happy whichever wins. Don't know what I'll do about the one that loses then, huh? I'll put it on the back burner for a while. I can't have a loser and then just do it anyway. So, how's this go? Well, OpenTTD is the simplest of the two. I like the game, but I'm not very good at it. So I'll probably play through some maps, get more familiar with it, or one map for a while, and then what I really want to do is similar to what we tried to do with, oh crikey, what was that game called? Can't believe I've forgotten it. The one that fell apart due to poor performance, but otherwise was an amazing game about building. Rise of Industry, thank you Rakuso. Kind of similar to what we did with Rise of Industry, but this time with a game that we know holds together very well. Build up a real good transport network, either for the whole world or for Europe, for whatever works best. So that's probably going to take a lot of time. We've had it on the channel before, but not for long enough, and I'm just really hungry for that kind of game where you set up these sorts of logistics. Just that L word is so much to me. On the flip side, we have Xenonauts ballistics only. So we'll be playing through Xenonauts on insane mode, and for ground missions, we will not be allowed to take anything other than ballistics in terms of weaponry. So no laser guns, no plasma guns, no mag guns. We'll still be allowed rocket launchers and C4 and stun batons and armor and shields and all of that, but our damage output will be severely restricted by only using crummy weapons. Now, we're going to be allowed to bring tanks as long as those tanks have ballistic weapons, and picking up stuff that we find there is fair game. If we find alien rockets and alien shotguns, they'll be okay, but the downside with those is that they're really ass, so that's a desperation moment. The big flip to this is that Baron von Own is going to join me on that, and we're going to alternate between ground missions, at least important ground missions. So we'll be streaming it together at times that work for both of us, probably, I think he said Wednesday, Thursday, Friday evenings. So between the two of us, well, we'll be narrating each other's run, we'll be live at the same time for it. Don't know how that'll go. Probably take a while. Both these long plays I see as being long plays. Still though, it's up to you which one happens. I think we've covered it, so let's put it up to vote. There we go. And, oh, I should have gotten that on screen. And like I said, setting these up, it's good that the functionality is there, but it's very flow breaking. So, the initial surge is for Open Transport Tycoon. I thought that Xenonauts Ballistics only sounded more tantalizing, but on the other hand, we have had Xenonauts twice on the channel in kind of rapid succession. What I'm hearing is that he never wanted OpenTTD to win. I would like a tie so that I can do both of them. As we know, in a tiebreaker situation, the third option wins, and there is no third option, so it underflows and becomes both of them. So there's some love for the trains. Who wins logistics or ballista? I should have called it that. Someone even came up with it and it didn't. It was not to be. So, can we make a tie happen? Very unlikely. Hard to orchestrate a tie like that. So, Train's maintaining a healthy advantage over Xenonauts. And we're gonna definitely be seeing who's putting the votes where. No TBW. In fact, let's just purge that as a very notion. There we go. Alright, so Xenonauts seems to be running out of steam, whereas Open Transport Tycoon is pulling away with a healthy 10-20 percentage points there. It could be swung with about 45 votes. Is that going to happen as we approach halfway through this? Whilst this is going on, perhaps people in chat should be shouting out what they are supporting here, so we can see if that matches up with the numbers that we see later. John YouTube says that Xenonauts versus OpenTTD is a tough choice, to be honest. Tough, but a choice that you have to make. Third option's Final Fantasy X randomizer. That's coming, Commissar, but not this. I was saying recently that OpenTTD was definitely going to get its time on the vote, but I couldn't have it on any of the recent votes because it just would have dominated, no questions asked. I wanted it to really have a foe to fight against. And that foe, Xenonauts, is fighting back. We are almost even Stevens on the 2. Flagflare says, I missed all of the other Xenonauts, which is unthinkable. I played it forever. Some Xenonauts sounds lovely. Dolt says, trains. Decoy wants the Xenonauts. Avenue says that it's tough, but Xeno is what they'll vote on. But other people have the Germanic blood flowing through them, forcing them to back the trains, like Tom there. I was busy, says Flag. You could have been on the team. Okay, it is even Stevens as we come to the final 20 seconds. Oh god, everything up for grabs here. It is straight up 50-50. Purge the Xenos, says Alteran, but Glow says that trains are love. John says a true German would vote for a train, and Salik says that they're in the mood for trains. Trains pulling ahead in our final seconds here. Xenonauts falling by the wayside, but they're finding their last spurt of ballistic glory, and it's coming down to the final, and OpenTTD wins it. 7 whole votes ahead of Xenonauts. The boys in blue just couldn't hold it together. Maybe if they'd invested in some better weapons, they could have made it. So, well, looks like Baron, if he does play it, is going to be playing solo, because our next long play, what is going to be chewing up a fair bit of the channel in the run-up to the upcoming marathon, will be OpenTTD. I will look out some maps for that and try to figure out how that all worked. I wasn't going to put much effort into orchestrating either of these until we had a winner. But, question is, how did it come down? Someone's asking, no, Doctor is saying 80 down the trash, but Goose says, has it ever been so close? On my list of all the long plays that we've had before, there is a breakdown of all the votes and voting percentages. So I could, well, you could check that to see if it's as close. I'll just link it here in chat. I don't have time to look at them all right now, but there you go. Third tab has all the vote results. This one's only 8, though. 8's not a lot. Now, I'm keen to know what the actual results of that were. Just give me 2 ticks, and we'll get the breakdown. I'll try to get the breakdown. Summary points. That's not the one. No, I'm not in my usual overlay for this. How could it come to pass? Oh god, no. Nobody needs to see my bookmarks. Away you go. And there we go. I think that works. Certainly looks like it works. The music cuts out because this blasted game cuts out audio whenever it's not active. I'm never fond of that being a thing. So what can I do? Failing that, I will bring you over here, and there we go. Kamidori was closer. How much was it? Oh, Amayui was 545 versus Rift Breakers 543. You know, I've still never played Rift Breakers. I was so geared up to play it, it lost the vote. I was subjected to almost 100 hours of Amayui, and then after that, Rift Breakers never even crossed my mind. So, give us the breakdown there. First off, Xenonauts Ballistics only. The bit contributors were Saxon Worm and Commissar. And when it comes to channel point contributors, could we have this widened out a bit? There we go. So 463 votes from 103 voters, each voter generally putting in at least 4 votes for it. And Sia Arthel, Zingus, Dr. Marsonge Darkfire, Bellcat, Mort, Shiel, Alteran, Flag Flare, and oh, Tandy, man! Oh man, Tandy had my back, and he was let down. Ah, would have thought he had a plan for this. I can't believe Arthel dumped a generous portion of a Dictator into that. I can't imagine how quickly you were clicking on that. But if you'd clicked on it just 7 times more, we would be having some Xenonauts, wouldn't we? What about our backers of OpenTTD? Hang on, who won the popular vote? Oh, there we go. 5 out of 6 votes, OpenTTD is the popular vote winner. And the winner, dumping behind it with channel points, was Rama, King, Ziri, Naffle. Well, they're all very Germanic sounding people. And Darius, you got Germanic family behind you in your migration to the colonies. Cormac, Cup. Wow, Fishlips was behind OpenTTD. I'm surprised. I thought Fishy would have been a Xenonaut supporter. And then there's D-Day, and there were bit contributors behind that as well. No, there weren't. The people with actual flash cash were behind the Xenonauts. Okay, glorious. We will... Okay, let's purge our Xeno idea there. Away you go. This is what it's all about. I wonder if I can mod something in so we can actually have a guest appearance of Xenonauts over into OpenTTD. I'm not very familiar with it, but I'll get familiar over the weekend and then have this ready for starting next week. So people have constantly been asking me when Guild 3 is returning, and I've been constantly disappointing them. I will disappoint them once again and say it's not going to be this evening. We've had a lot more bridge building than I thought we'd have today, and honestly I'm just not that naffed with Guild 3. It's taking all the energy I can even to put it on the schedule, even if I am just going to break it. But it's really bad. I want to beat it, but it's really bad. Well, it's not like we haven't had bad games here on the channel before. We're just going to have to be patient with that. In any case, until I am back with more streams, which is probably tomorrow. What day is tomorrow? Friday? Saturday? It's unimportant. In any case, till then, it's a cheers and cheerio.